Is everybody ready for number 2? Alex,
Yes,
ready?
yes, absolutely. So I believe we have John coming on,
Oh,
yes, for John Hills.
absolutely.
So John is our seasoned
Everyone.
principal AE over at Enable. So Enable is specializing in backup disaster recovery solutions, and you've been there for about a decade, right? So
Correct.
you
Yes.
know you know a thing or two about a thing or two, which is great. So you're committed to ensuring that partners do have the best products and protect their customers' data. And we're going to leverage your extensive expertise and the fact that you were on deck and on stage here about 10 minutes early. So always one to prepare. So, so we'll hand it over to you, and your 7-minute counter is going to start pretty much now.
Fantastic.
You got
Hi,
it.
everyone. As mentioned, my name is John Hiltz. I'm the Principal Account Executive for Cove. Been with Enable for just shy of a decade now. Little introduction on Cove. With Cove today, we support roughly 13,000 MSP partners across the globe. Of those partners, 165,000 business protected and just shy of 2 million Microsoft users protected as well. Cove is an appliance-free, cloud-first backup solution that you can use to protect everything. Microsoft users, virtual physical servers, Azure servers, workstations, PC, laptops, deliver as a service with a multi-tenanted console, different user roles and permissions. So if you have organizations today who need access to their own devices, but you want to control what they can do, not a problem at all. And one of the best pieces about our platform, in my opinion, is we include the cloud storage as part of our model. So you don't have to worry about that and source your own. But more importantly, we give you the ability to source local hardware if necessary for clients who need better RPO and RTO. When we look at what has occurred over the last 2 decades in the backup industry, what we've seen is that the vendors on your screen today, Veeam, Datto, et cetera, is not as if they're bad. In fact, they're quite good at what they do, but they were good at what they did in 2010, 2015, 2020. They're still doing those things now. Cove, and a little bit of history on it, was built back in 2001 to solve latency issues occurring over in Eastern Europe. And in doing so, saw a problem that existed in 2001, doing a cloud backup maybe once a week, if not once a month, and realized that that problem would continue to occur in a modern sense today, where now we're not backing up once a week, we're backing up multiple times every single day. We're not backing up one data set, we're backing up hundreds, and those data sets have grown significantly. And so, as I said, the problem hasn't really disappeared, it's just changed shape. And in doing so, Cove has been prepared for the modern age and preparing our partners to support their customers' needs since its inception. When we look at the problems that Cove tries to solve, it really falls threefold. First, being the skills shortage we see in the industry today. Our belief is that your most expensive employees, most skilled employees, shouldn't be the ones managing your backup solution. You should use them for projects, working with your most complex customers. Additionally, we should provide you a licensing model that provides better predictability in your back end by giving you storage that you'll never even come close to using, but more importantly, that number is staying static. So you won't be concerned about its consumption growth and data commodity growth over time. Last but not least, utilizing a platform that allows you to scale your business into managing thousands of devices while not having to increase your headcount exponentially at the same rate. So how do we accomplish that? Well, we do it by using TrueDelta Technology. TrueDelta Technology is a backup technology that's exclusive to Enable. This isn't a reskinned anything else in the industry today. We built this ourselves that allows us to run what's called forever incremental. This means we're never doing a new image, we're never reseeding data or having to re-image data. By providing or running these incremental backups, we're able to back up less data on average. Due to our unique deduplication and compression algorithm, we process that data down to the smallest possible footprint and move that data across the internet. In doing so, we're not concerned about data consumption or crushing a customer's network because the blocks are so small. And to illustrate that further, I want to show you how we kind of envision what an image-based backup runs like versus a TrueDelta backup instead. With an image-based backup, we do an image once a day, maybe multiple times a day, depending on the size of the data set, and incrementals in between. But those images cause a bottleneck. When I'm doing an image once a day, it might run for 4 to 8 hours, potentially longer. And within that time period, anything can go wrong. It can get corrupted, the device can go offline, it can reboot, and I lose my offsite backup. In addition, we also see the fact that these image backups stack and grow our cloud data very quickly, which means either A, I'm driving up my cost and my customer's cost, or B, I can't hold on to any meaningful amount of retention in the cloud. Whereas with Cove, by doing TrueDelta backups, I can use these full incrementals as image level recovery points, not crushing my customer's internet, moving it offsite more frequently than before, but more importantly, keeping a lengthy amount of retention in the cloud so my partners are protected from data loss both locally and in the cloud as well. This is actually an example that one of our partners ran when they came over to us from Veeam. And so as you can imagine, the Veeam data is on the left, Cove data is on the right. In this case, we ran the backup on a device that was 500 gigs in size. With Veeam, we saw a change rate of roughly 6% per backup job, and that's pretty common for an image-based solution. 6% of 500 gigs is roughly 30 gigs per backup. Now, in this scenario, we did one full backup a day for 2 months. 30 gigs times 60 days gave us a footprint of 1.8 terabytes before we added on the initial image size. In our case, our change rate on average is 0.1 of 1%. And so this example works out to half a gig. Half a gig times 60 days gave us a footprint of 30 gigs before the initial image. And so just by comparing the two numbers, you can see that we're a dramatically smaller amount of data storing both locally and in the cloud. But in turn, it means that we can perform full backups at a much more frequent rate because the data footprint is still lower than the average image-based solution. What this means for our partners, because we can protect so many different data sets, provide things like disaster recovery, local storage, BCDR type appliance, spinning up into cloud instances like Azure, for example, is that our partners can in turn standardize on Cove. No longer do they have to train on 2, 3, 4 different backup solutions for their workstations, cloud backup, on-prem, or Microsoft 365 backup. They can standardize in one, which means they spend less time training, more times optimizing their efficiency as an organization, and standardizing their billing practices in the back end as well. And versus me just talking about this kind of stuff, we're very big on getting testimonials from our partners so you can hear from your peers. 2 quotes here. The first coming from Marcus at Capital Support. Marcus and his organization were spending or having 4 to 5 different employees run their backup, whether it be architecture, onboarding, remediation tasks, whereas now it's a 15-minute task first thing in the morning for multiple people. Luke at Fred IT saw a reduction of 90% in tickets from 95 per day down to 9 coming from StorageCraft. And last but not least, just to summarize how effective Cove is in both the onboarding, the management, and the deployment, our partner Vincent at Cloud Agile was able to move over 200 devices in a single afternoon due to how simple the platform is to use. That's my time. I hope we see you in the breakout room. Thanks for the time, guys.
John, that was almost exactly 7 minutes. Congratulations on
pretty good.
keeping it on time. I can
By the
only
way,
expect as
I
much
wanted
as the
to
guy who's
add-
10 minutes early.
My wife prepped for this meeting or this channel program 10 years ago when she painted this wall green for the St. Patrick's Day theme. So
It is green.
preparation all
I couldn't
around.
tell if it was
Yeah.
like green. That's pretty good.
It's more screen calls it, yeah.
I mean, how lucky are we?
Exactly.
Thank you, John, for your pitch.
That's
And